Good morning to all the students of class 12th political science once again here. Students, today we are going to start the fourth chapter, and the chapter's name is, as you can see here, alternative centers of power. But before I start this chapter, we need to know that all these chapters which we have done, chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 3, and this is chapter 4, all are linked and correlated to each other. For the better understanding of the fourth chapter, you need to understand all the three chapters properly. That is why in the very first chapter I told you to understand the topics step by step properly, because all the topics are related to each other. So before I start this topic, that is alternative centers of power, and what is the meaning of this topic, I want to remind you of the first chapter, that was the Cold War. In this we read period after 1945, and which was this period? That was World War II. Cold War, which ended in 1945, the Second World War, which ended in 1945. After that, the period was called Cold War, in which we saw the two superpowers running and showing their dominance all over the world after 1945, that is US and USSR. And after that, the next chapter was end of bipolarity. Bipolarity means previously the world was dominated and controlled in economic, political and military spaces by US and USSR. These two were the two superpowers, and the end of the bipolarity means there was a disintegration of USSR in 1991, as I told you. After this was the first chapter, this was the second chapter, and third was US hegemony. By this we understand that after the disintegration of USSR, there was no other superpower which could challenge the power of US. So US was dominating all the world politics in terms of hard power, soft power and structural power. So after this, what happened? When after 1991, US hegemony was going on all through the world politics in all the arenas, whether we talk of economics, if we talk of ideology, culture, military, economics, everywhere US showed its hegemony and dominance all over the world. So it was must required that there should be some alternative centers of power. We should have another option other than US who can show their dominance and challenge the power of US. May not be there a war against US, but there should be some other power which could balance the power of US. That US must know that yes, including me, there are some others power also who can control the world politics in their different arenas. So that is why this chapter is alternative centers of power. So here I am starting, as I have told you, World War II, which ended in 1945. What happened after 1945 World War? I have told you in chapter 1 also and chapter 2 also. USA, one superpower, USSR, second power. After the Cold War, there was a division between the world, and the half of the Europe was the ally of US. This was called Western Europe, and this part was called Eastern Europe. So these countries of Europe from here supported USSR, and these countries supported USA. So these were the allies of USA, and these countries were the allies of USSR. So we can say that Europe was divided into Western Europe and Eastern Europe. Western Europe supported USA, and Eastern Europe countries were with USSR. But after the disintegration of USSR in 1991, now it disintegrated. After its collapse, the world was left only with one superpower, that is USA. I have told you many times. Now all the hegemony, all the dominance, all the power, authority was under US. It was controlling all the affairs of economic, political, social, military all over the world according to US hegemony. So all the things was going according to US, so the need of some other alternative centers of power were much required to challenge US superpower. So in the world arena, we will see like associations were formed. European Union, as we will be studying in this chapter, ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, SARS, South Asian Association of Regional Corporation. This is BRICS. Here are these countries: Brazil, this is Russia, this is India, this is China, this is South Africa. These countries are also forming a organization for their economic and to develop peace and development all around the country. So we will be studying this type of organization in this chapter, but we will be studying European Union, we will be studying Asian, and then at last we will be studying rise of Chinese economy, which was a major challenge to the power of US when there was a rise in the Chinese economy, and it influenced the whole world towards its economy. So we are going to study about European Union, about Asian, and about the rise of Chinese economy in this particular chapter. And all these three are the, we can say, alternative centers of power. Why we are calling them alternative centers of power? Because they can challenge the dominance of US. Now the world has another option here as a alternative center of power in front of USA. So first of all, we are going to start what was European Union and how it was so powerful that it could challenge USA in terms of economic, military, or cultural or ideologically. So here, starting with European Union, which is the first alternative power against USA, and we will be studying the details of European Union, that why we are calling it alternative center of power. So starting here, what was European Union? Actually, we will be studying how it came into formation, how it was formed, how it came to be being. Okay, so in 1945, after World War II, there was an economic failure of Europe. Here, as I told you, after World War II, USA and USSR were the most superpower, but here the major destruction and the loss of economic and structure of Europe was a lot of loss of Europe was held. So we can see here in Marshall Plan. After World War II, Europe states had shattered the assumption and structure on which the European states had based their relations. Read it properly. After World War II, European states had shattered the assumptions and structure on which the European states had based their relation. That is, after Second World War, all the economic structure and infrastructure and the economic, political, social structure of Europe was shattered. It was in the devastating stage, and there was a lot of economic crisis, great depression of economic in Europe for the first time. All the countries were struggling in Europe to survive. At that particular time, there was a plan called Marshall Plan. So we will be studying what was Marshall Plan. Okay. Under Marshall Plan, the USA provided financial help to revive European economy. As I had told you, in the World War II, there was a devastating situation in all over Europe. Their economy has shattered. Their basic structure on which their relations were based with each other had been finished off. It was in the devastating stage. So here, USA as the most superpower after the Second World War, along with USSR. But here, Marshall Plan was put up by USA to provide financial, economic help to revive, so that Europe can improve once again. It can start its economy once again. So the financial help was given by US to European economy. And under this Marshall Plan, there was, under Marshall Plan, the Organization for European Economic Cooperation. OEEC, remember the short form. Under this Marshall Plan, there was an organization formed, and the name of the organization was Organization for European Economic Cooperation. For the European Economic Cooperation was established in 1948. Remember the date. In 1948, a European Economic Cooperation was formed. And what was the purpose to form this type of organization? Through this, Western European states began to cooperate on trade and economic issues. Only these countries. USA supported only western part, this part. I told you these were the countries who were the allies of USA. So USA gave them some financial help to cooperate on trade and economic issues. They started trade, commerce, economic issues, activities to raise their economy, to improve their standard of life, which had been shattered after Second World War. So USA was just supporting these countries because these countries, Western countries, were the supporters of USA. So this organization was named under Marshall Plan as Organization for European Economic Cooperation, and the date of its establishment was 1948. So now moving further, In the same way, certain other associations were made to promote the economic and political developments in the devastating situation of European countries. So after this OEEC, that is Organization for European Economic Cooperation, in 1948, the other thing was in 1949, after 48, 1949, one more association was made. The Council of Europe was established. And why? What was the purpose of this Council of Europe? To step forward in political cooperation. So OEC was in relation to the the cooperation of the European countries, and the Council of Europe was in relation to the political cooperation among these countries in the Europe, especially in the Western Europe. And the next association was established in 1957, formation of the European, and its name was European Economic Community. And there was a community now. Previously they were dependent on US for the financial help with the help of Marshall Plan and and the formation of OEEC. But now after few years, when they have managed to balance their economy somehow, they started their normal life. In 1957 they made a European Economic Community, in which they were seeing the economic importance and the economic cooperation among the European members. So now the second point is, and the most important, you just said, after disintegration of Soviet bloc, or we can say USSR, it led to the establishment of European Union in 1992. So finally we were talking about European Union, and its formation was finally in 1992. After the disintegration of USSR, after its disintegration in 1991, there was a formation of EU, European Union, in 1992. So before this we were studying this. As you can see, I told you about European Union. We started our topic. First of all, we saw the condition of Europe after the World War II. All the economic failure of Europe, the condition was Europe was not up to the mark, and it needed some helping hand, which was given by US, through US as the most superpower country after 1991. With this particular plan, Marshall Plan, US gave the financial support to European countries for the revive of European economy. And then we studied how under Marshall Plan OEEC was formed to for the helping Western European states to begin cooperation on their trade and economic issues in 1948. Later on, we studied there was another organization formed in 1949 to forward or put forward its political cooperation among the European countries. Then we read the next association in 1957, the formation of European Economic Community. So we were seeing step by step how it evolved with time as a strong European Union. So finally, in 1992, European Union was formed. So before I tell you what were the features of European Union, what is aims, objectives, I would like to tell you that how European Union was formed. That is, after World War II, as I told you, Europe was divided into two parts. Financial help was given to Western Europe by US, but after disintegration of USSR, after its disintegration in 1991, now these were the countries of allies of USSR. Now these countries of Eastern Europe wanted to be a member of European Union. Now there are many countries of Eastern Europe went and joined these European Union, and they wanted to make a very strong and independent organization and name it European Union. So after disintegration, I mean to tell you here, many countries from European East Europe joined the countries of West Europe to form European Union. Now coming here to tell you some features and importance of European Union here. EU I am using for European Union, so don't be confused. European Union was a group of European capitalist countries. As I told you, after disintegration of USSR, all the countries of Eastern Europe followed a ideology of capitalism in their countries, because the reason for the disintegration of USSR was its ideology of socialism. People didn't want to follow the ideology of socialism anymore, and they wanted to follow the policy of capitalism. So here now, the EU, European Union, was a group of European capitalist countries with a common. Now all the countries coming under Europe here, all the countries coming under Europe, these countries also and these countries also, they had the common functioning, that is they had common foreign policies, they had common security policies, they had cooperation on justice and home affairs, and creation, and also creation of single currency. It means in whole Europe there will be a common foreign policy. All the countries under Europe will follow a common foreign policies. They will have the same security policy. They will cooperate, help each other in trade, commerce, politically, socially. They will have look after the justice. They will look after the home affairs of each other. They will cooperate with each other. They will have the single currency, and the name of the currency is euro. All the countries in under Europe, this continent, will follow this single currency, that is euro, and also had this whole group as a union. Europe had their own flag. They had their anthem. They had their founding date. So we can say that this European Union was acting as a national state. It was acting as a national state, where all these countries wanted to be combined and merged together to look like a country running under the same these cooperation, security, and common foreign policies, single currency, and they had their own flag, anthem, and founding date. European Union had changed from an economic union to an increasingly, with the passage of time, this European Union, which was formed mainly for the revival of economy of Europe after Second World War, and slowly and gradually it kept on evolving, and its formation went on from an economic union to a political. Now it became powerful as it had strong military, it has strong economy, it has strong culture, and it was influencing the whole world towards it. That's why we are studying it here under alternative center of power. Alternative as except US, which were the other powers, that is European Union. They had merged together. All the countries were cooperating in terms of military, trade, commerce, society, political system with each other. So they became from an economic union to a political one. And it is also said in 2003, this European Union, whole of the Europe and the countries combined with it even tried to make constitution for European states. They tried and make a constitution for all the European countries, which will be governed according to that constitution. But somehow they failed to do so. They had their flag, they had their national anthem, they had their founding date, same currency, but somehow they could not make a same constitution for all the countries, and there were many countries under Europe, and they all had different wishes, aspirations, demands, their geographical locations. So they could not be, it was not easy to govern all these European countries under a single constitution. So like this, I would like to tell you here that you just have to see European Union. You cannot say that it was formed directly in 1992, although its evolution or construction started after the period of 1945, and under Marshall Plan, how it started for the economic development of European countries, especially the Western European countries, which were held by USA. And later on how it evolved, and finally after the disintegration of USSR in 1991, there was a formation of a pure European Union in 1992, in which all the countries of Eastern Europe and Western Europe merged them, as they had the capitalist countries, and they had the same foreign policies, justice, home affairs. So they wanted to merge together to be a strong counterpart for the US. So further in the next part, I shall be discussing the features of European Union. What were the features of European Union? Till then, thank you. You see these notes. Till then.